Hello guys and welcome back to another YouTube tutorial. So I know I've been gone for like a month. It wasn't intentional. It's just really hard for me to find time to record in a quiet environment. And I've probably recorded this tutorial like 5 times already. This is like my 6th time doing it, because if it's not like my upstairs neighbor's kids doing a bunch of noise, it's my pet or my roommates. And I apologize, but I'm back and I'm gonna try to be consistent with this and upload a new tutorial every single week. So I'm going to go ahead and launch my Spark AR Studio. And I forgot to mention, today's tutorial is finally, I'm giving you guys how to make 3D eyelashes using blocks. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it. I know a lot of you asked for this. And as you guys can see, I have not updated to the version 102 because it's a lot of bugs. So never update. Tip number 1, never update as soon as it comes out. Like, wait. And in the Facebook Spark AR community, people will say like the bugs and stuff. So for example, this one has like a bug with the UI picker and UI slider, and I constantly use those, so I haven't updated yet. So I'm still running version 101. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to do the 3D eyelash blocks, and I'm also going to do like a little bit of makeup. So because a lot of people ask me to show how to do that like blush contourish look where it's all one layer, but it adds dimension to the face. I'm also going to show you how I do the nose highlight, because I did get some comments on how I did that, and some eyeliner to go with the mascara. So as you guys know, if you watch my tutorials regularly, you know that I don't particularly like using any of these templates for anything. But for the purpose of this tutorial, this is how to get the blocks. So you want to go ahead and open up the makeup template that Spark gives you. It's going to be under the Create New, and as you can see, I just scroll down, click it. Okay, sorry, my computer's being a little slow. You just want to click it, and if you open up this little window right here, you can see how, if I'm being honest, this is not good. This is not good makeup. This is not what you want. I find that a lot of people don't use this for this purpose reason. I'm sure you could make it nice if you tried, but what we need from here are the eyelashes. You see how they blink? That is because they are a 3D block. So the first thing, if your thing isn't opened like this, when you open up this template, it'll probably look like this. So just open it up. Oops. Open up all of them until you hit your face tracker. And the first thing that we're going to do is, we're going to click on the makeup block, and I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. But you could obviously do like one of right click and then you could delete, right? Next thing that you want to do is you actually do want to delete this face mesh makeup, because you no longer are using the makeup block. So right click delete, or you can hit on your keyboard. It's totally up to you. Now I'm just going to go ahead and rename my stuff, because I always rename it. So face tracker. And then this is the retouch face mesh. So I'm going to go ahead and rename it retouch. And then this is the eyelash block that you want to keep. So we're going to come down here to our materials. Again, we don't have this makeup block anymore. So we're just hitting delete on my keyboard and then changing the name of the retouch. You want to go under your textures, and as you can see, you're not going to need any of these because they're all part of that makeup block. So hit delete. It's going to ask you if you want to delete it from your project folder, and hit yes. Unless for some reason you want to keep the makeup, that's totally up to you. And then under your blocks, you're going to hit delete again on the makeup block. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to, first of all, I need a lady. I need one where I can see her eyes very clearly. Okay. I always end up using her anyways. Okay, so you want to come down to your patch editor. If you are not seeing your patch editor right away, go to view, and then it's the first one, view show patch editor, and just turn it on. I'm going to make my patch editor a little bit bigger and my window a little bit bigger. So it should already be labeled inside this red rectangle. It should say eyelashes. So anything outside of that, like this, you want to hit delete on your keyboard, delete it. If you go inside the little rectangle, you can see that these three are not connected to anything, and that's because they were connected to the makeup block. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and delete them and control those by ourselves. So as you can see, these are like the skeletons of the blocks, the bones, and they're already linked up. You don't have to mess with any of these. We will be messing around with these numbers later on, but for now, just make sure that everything is like this. Perfect. And then you want to go ahead and save this file. This is super important for this tutorial, so go ahead and save it. I'm just going to save it on my desktop, and I'm going to name it Eyelashes. Even though I'm going to do a little bit of makeup, I'm just going to name it Eyelashes. Hit save, and you'll see it'll pop up on my desktop. So now for like the most important part, you want to double click on your block here, not here, because this is what gives you this. You want to double click here. So after it loads up, you'll notice that it opened up the block, almost as if it was opening up another project, but it's not. This is your left eyelash and this is your right eyelash. You don't have to worry about anything up here. We're going to go down here. So this is the texture that we're working with. This is the texture, the eyelash texture provided by Spark AR. Don't like it. I think it's not an eyelash that I typically like, and you'll notice that they did not click no compression. So if you did test out the lashes, then you'd notice on your preview that they look a little bit faded. That's why. If we go into our eyelash material, you'll notice that it's on flat and they have it as an alpha. Also want to make sure that it does that you do have double-sided checked off. And then I'm going to deselect my advanced render settings. That's all fine. Okay, so for this particular tutorial, I'm not going to go through and show you how I draw my eyelashes, but I'm going to show you how you can make your own eyelashes on your computer using Photoshop. Typically how I do it is I will draw my eyelashes on Procreate on my iPad. I have an iPad Pro, and from then on I'll send it to my computer, and then I'll put it into Photoshop to rotate the lashes in the way that it needs to be. Because if we click on this, the way that you draw your eyelash you have to like crop it and rotate it so that it's in this exact same direction, if that makes sense, because this is how it's all linked back in the original block. So I know that was a lot. First thing that we're going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and launch Safari, and then we're going to go ahead and Google PixArt. But you don't want to go to the direct website because it'll make you sign up, and I don't want to create an account. So you're going to go ahead and Google PixArt stickers. And then you want to click on the first link. As you can see, I've used this on my last tutorial, I believe. And then you just want to look for eyelashes. And ignore the images. Go ahead and click on stickers right here. Except, I guess it's like not giving me another option. My computer is a little bit slow. And you'll see that there's a bunch of pre-made eyelashes that you can use. So this is great if you don't know how to draw, if you don't have any way, if you don't have a tablet, an iPad, you can still have pretty nice looking 3D lashes. So, you can look through these and like pick whichever one you like. There's so many. Wow. I had no idea. I'm kind of going towards this one. Yeah, this is pretty nice. I feel like these two are the same. Okay, yeah, it's the same person. So I'm just gonna right click on the image, copy image, and then I'm gonna load my Photoshop. So let me minimize this window. And you want to, okay, so you want to open, and you want to go to you want to go to the filter folder that you saved. So remember when I said this is important, save your file as eyelashes. You want to go into that because you want to retrieve the eyelash PNG. And then it's not going to be under textures. You're actually going to go into your blocks, and then you're going to go into the block again, and then you're going to go into the textures inside the block. You're going to double click, open up the eyelash PNG. I'm going to go into my Photoshop right here and click on this little icon and create a new filter. You could always go to layer, new filter up here. This is just faster for me. I'm going to go ahead and change my color to black so that I can have a background, and then I'm going to move this down. So I'm actually going to rename this background. And then original. I'm just going to name it 01. And so you can see the lashes really up close here. So I'm just going to zoom in. And then I'm going to Command V. I do have a Mac laptop, so that's the command for paste. You could also go to edit paste, or if you're using Windows and you know what it is, then you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to up in my like toolbar, edit, free transform, and I'm going to rotate it. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And you want to make sure you get it as close as possible to the lash line that this eyelash is. So I'm going to hold down shift and thin this in on both sides. And then I'm going to tilt this side like there. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to go into the original layer, and I'm going to actually make this 50% so that it's not completely covering my top layer. So I'm going to name this one eyelash. And then you want to change it into white. So we're going to go to image adjustments and levels. You can do this so many different ways, but this is just the fastest way for me. So I'm going to just literally drag that little second, this one, I'm literally dragging it all the way up, and I'm putting down my blacks, and then you can see it's white. And if you want to make it even more white, this does add to the clarity of what the lashes look like. And I'm going to go ahead and just do it again, and it does get a little bit whiter. I don't know if you can tell on the recording, but it does. If you want the lines even sharper, you just duplicate it and it'll add to it. I think though, I'm going to bring this down to 30%. Yeah, that's good. And then I'm going to go ahead, right click. I'm going to right click on my eyelash copy, and I'm going to merge down. And now I have this single eyelash. So our shape is still a little bit off. So highlighting my eyelash layer, I'm going to go to eyelash free transform, and then I'm going to right click on it and click warp. I'm going to use this to make the lashes almost as long as the other ones without moving this line as much as possible. Okay. And then I'm just going to drag this back down. And most likely you'll have to play around with this, just because once you test it out on your device, you can really see based on your eye how close it is, if you have to rotate it a little bit more, all of that. So this looks pretty good to me. That looks pretty good, and it looks so much better than this, like, let's be honest. So I'm gonna deselect those. I'm gonna go to File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. I'm going to go and save this on my desktop as eyelashes. Cool. I'm gonna minimize Photoshop. Gonna go back into this project, which is the block one. And I'm gonna go into my eyelash material and click under the alpha texture, new texture. Gonna go to desktop and click eyelashes. So this is the texture that we've just created, and I'm gonna click no compression so you can see here the difference. Yep. So this one's a lot more feathery, and it has more of a curve, to whereas this one is just kind of straight. And that curve is what's going to add to how realistic it looks. So after you've done this, you want to make sure it's on your new one. You're going to go to File and you're going to hit Save. Then you're just going to exit out and it should update in real time. So look at that. Look how much nicer these look already. I'm going to go ahead and send that to my device to test it. And based on what I see, I will make changes. So make sure to test it on your device. Oh wow, okay, so these look pretty nice. If you're looking at it now, like they don't look as full, but making some changes to the numbers, we can manipulate this. So I typically, when I want to make the lashes look more curvy, I'll play around with the numbers here in my transition and in my add. So I'm gonna go with, right now it's at 20, this is 50, so let me play around with the setting. Let me change this to like 20, and you'll notice like what changes are happening based on the number input. So I'm getting more of a lift now, which is exactly what I want. And let me do -15 on both of these. There should just be 2 transitions, which are your rotation. So let me do -15. Let me actually do -25. Let me see how that looks. Okay, perfect. This is what I want. Okay, now I'm gonna go into my eyelash block. This is the one underneath the face tracker. I don't think I have to manipulate the PNG in Photoshop right now. I think it looks good the way it is. So first things first, you can, if I make this bigger for you guys, you can see that you can change the color of this to whatever. But we're gonna make black eyelashes. And I do want my opacity to be at 100, so I'm going to go ahead and change that to 1. But I do want my length to be less. So the length that this manipulates is like when you close your eyelashes, you'll see the length there. It's not the length that you see when your eyes are already open. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, and I'm going to go ahead and send this to my phone. Okay, yes, perfect. Awesome. These look great. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, because they're not sitting exactly on my lash line in the inner corner, I always change the position on the block here to go directly on the lash line. So I'm going to do 0.001, and this is going to move it down just a little bit. And I'll show you on some different faces. It looks really good, actually. Oh, you can see it the most on him. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and send that to my phone. And now the lashes are perfectly on the lash line. They honestly look really good. And they rotate when you blink, or they blink with you. Awesome. So that's it for making the eyelashes themselves. If you did want to make them longer, I would do it on here. So I would just simply edit, free transform, warp, and then make it longer this way. Like that's how I would do it personally. I don't want them to look longer than this because I like the way that they look now. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. Don't save. And then I'm going to show you how to make an eyeliner. So add, right click on your face tracker, add new face mesh. And I'm just going to name this eyeliner. I'm also going to move this in between the retouch and the eyelashes, because you want your eyelashes to go in front of your liner. And then we're going to go ahead and add a new material to that face mesh and name it eyeliner. I'm going to go ahead and set up the settings under my material before I make the eyeliner. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it to flat. I'm going to go ahead and deselect my advanced render settings, and I'm going to move this to multiply, and I'm going to change this to 90. And then based on how it looks when I try it out, I'll change it again. So for now, I'm going to go back into Photoshop. I'm going to open, you want to go into your face assets folder, which again will be linked in the description. You get this folder off of Spark AR. You want to go into textures, and you're just going to open up this one, which I already had right here, but for the sake of showing you how, that's what I did. I'm going to go ahead and click new layer, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So this is how I do my eyeliner. I'm going to right click, so I'm selecting my brush. Hardness can be 16, that doesn't matter, but I do want to change my opacity to 100 up here, and in my flow 100. And then yeah, so we're just gonna do one eye, and then when I have that one eye done, I'm just gonna duplicate it onto the other side so that it's symmetrical. So now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my eraser, and I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit more and probably make this 40 with a hardness of 40. And then I'm gonna put down the opacity so that I can see what I'm doing. Okay. And then I'm just going to bring it back up. And then I'm just going along the edge to kind of create that eyeliner look. And I do like my eyeliner fairly thin. That's like totally up to you how thin you want to make it. But this is basically what you want to do. And there you have eyeliner. And now I'm going to show you, I'm just going to duplicate this. So I'm going to drag it to that layer icon and it's going to make a duplicate. I'm going to go to edit, free transform, and I'm going to flip horizontally. And then I'm holding down shift as I press my arrow keys to move it along here. So kind of just like where it starts and where it ends, and there you have eyeliner. Now I'm gonna merge this down so that they're both on one layer, and I'm going to file, export, quick export as PNG. Gonna save this on my desktop as eyeliner. Voila. I'm gonna minimize this so I can test it out here. Click on texture, choose file, click on eyeliner, and it should bring up your eyeliner right here. Gonna click no compression, and then I'm gonna go ahead and test it out on my phone and see what it looks like. Oh, okay, so I forgot to deselect my eyes, so let me send that to my phone. I do, however, want to go back in here. I don't need this actually. And erase this curve right here so that it's just kind of straight. And then I'm going to save it so that there is no curve and it kind of starts where your lash starts. Just going to save that as eyeliner, replace it, and then minimize this, go into my eyeliner, replace with eyeliner, send it to my phone. Okay, perfect. I'm actually also going to, yep. I'm going to make this longer by adjusting the scale on the X axis. I think I'm going to do like a 1.03. I'm going to send that to my device. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to show you how to make the little blush. So I'm going to add a new face mesh and I'm going to name it blush. I'm going to go over here and add material, create new material, and I'm just going to name it blush. And I'm just going to do flat and I'll leave that like that. So I'm going to go back into Photoshop, gonna deselect the eyeliner, and I'm going to start or create a new layer. I've done this before in one of my other videos, but I'm just going to do it again because I always get questions on this. You guys ask me why I don't include the blush or like textures for download, but it's because like I show you how to do it so that you don't have to use the ones that I make. Because you can adapt it to however you want, and this way you know how to change certain things. So I'm going to show you my brush. My brush is fine. So you kind of want to put it along this area where you kind of see that fold. And they don't have to look perfect because we're going to clean them up anyway. So gonna put it down the nose and gonna do the lips. So I don't make my lips perfect because I always like it to look like a lip tint rather than lipstick or lip gloss. If you did want to make it look like lipstick, you would just outline this neater. But I'm doing it kind of sloppy because that's the way that I like how it looks. I'm going to take my eraser tool in like 70. No, let's do like 90. And we're going to do 0 hardness. Let's do like 120. And then I'm going to kind of just shape this. So you don't want to go too far out because then it'll look kind of muddy. Kind of want to just confine this like this. Whoops, undo. Okay. Yeah, something like that. So of course you can make this as big as you want depending on how much blush you want there. And then I'm gonna make this like a 50. I'm gonna click down. You see it erase that part? Okay, I'm gonna click down, hold shift, and drag down. Gonna do the same on this side so that you get that sharp nose contour, nose blush. And it defines your nose to make it look a little bit narrower, to make it look more narrow. Yeah. Then I'm gonna take this brush in like a 90 and kind of start erasing up so that I'm forming kind of like a pillow, and do the same down here. So, oops. This is literally all I do. And then you're gonna go to File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. I'm going to save that as blush. Go into Spark AR and into my material, texture, and you'll see that it'll look kind of crazy when it first comes up because it is white. So we're gonna click on color, and I like to do kind of like a reddish brownish so that it looks like a blush and a contour. Oops. Hit OK. Then you want to hit multiply, and then you want to bring this down to like 40. And make sure you select no compression on everything. Gonna send this to my phone. And I actually want this more blended. So going back here, I forgot to do one thing. You want to go to filter, make sure your selection is the blush. You want to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And you want to do like a 9.5 is good, so that it blends into the skin better export quick as PNG. And then I'm going to go into here and just hit replace. Blush. There you go. And now I'm going to send it to my phone. Yep, that's way better. This filter actually looks really cute. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do the nose highlight super quick so that we can go ahead and finish this up, because I know this tutorial is going to be a long one and I'm sorry. Click create new material. I'm just going to name it highlight. And for the settings on the highlight, you want to go to physically based. I'm gonna go ahead and change this into like a little pinky kind of iridescent. I'm going to go metallic 100, and I always do my roughness at like 35. This is how much shine is coming in, or it's focused on. And gonna deselect my advanced render option settings. Now I'm launching Photoshop again, clicking this and then making a new layer. I'm gonna use that same brush and kind of gonna do the same thing, holding down shift. Now I'm gonna erase with this smaller brush, 50, and then we're gonna hit shift, go down, gonna hit shift, oops, nope, gonna press down and then hit shift. And I'm gonna do that one more time. And gonna do it again. So the nose highlight, you want it to be as thin as possible. So now I'm going to do it just without hitting shift and just going down the nose slowly and closing this off before the bridge. And also closing this off like that. And then you want to click this and set it to like 20. And you're just gonna do a little like circle right here. And I'm actually going to make this a little bit thinner with my eraser. And perfect. You just want to go file, export, quick export as PNG, go on your desktop and save it as highlight. Or you can save it as nose highlight, depends on you. Gonna minimize that. Gonna go here where it says texture, choose texture, highlight, and there you go, it's right there. Now all that's left to do is change the blend mode under render options to add. And there's your nose highlight, and now you want to bring down the opacity all the way to like 12, or depending on what you like. It's not showing up as much on the video model, but when you preview it yourself, it's going to show up, and depending on how your light is in the room is how you're going to see it. So you want to click on your highlight, no compression. This is what my texture ended up looking like. Gonna go ahead and send that to my phone. Ooh. Okay, this filter looks really cute. I'm actually going to lower this a little bit because it's a little bit intense. Let me do like 8. Yep, that's perfect. Okay. I'm also just going to go ahead and throw in a deformation because why not? This is my process on how I do my filters, and this is like typically what I add to my filters. So I'm going to put this in between the retouch and eyeliner. Always my second filter. I'm just going to add a deformation just in case you guys don't know how to add a deformation. But you should. If you watch my other videos, you should. I'm literally just going to... Nope. I'm going to... Nope. What am I looking for? Okay, I'm gonna click on my objects, load in a deformation, and then send it to my phone. And you can actually add the same deformation to your eyeliner if you have deform on your eyes to make the eyeliner go with that eye. Yes, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I wanted it to look like. So I'll show you what it looks like in the next clip. But that's it. That's basically, again, so this was it. This was how you do the eyelashes, the blush, and the highlight. And this is essentially the basics to any beauty filter. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, the eyelashes blink with you. You can see the blush, you can see the nose highlight. It looks really cute. Again, I'll have this up on my Gumroad, and any other links that you'll need will be in the description bar. Make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know what other tutorials you want to see, because I am uploading. It's like my goal this new year to upload every single week a new tutorial. Definitely let me know what tutorials you want to see next. And thank you so much for watching. Your support really means a lot to me, and I do appreciate it. Bye.